Welcome to the Emirates Arena here in the East End of Glasgow on this Sunday evening. A place in next month's BBL Trophy final on the line with the Radisson Red Glasgow Rocks hosting London City Royals. Yes, good evening from me, Mark Woods, for this, the second leg of this semi-final, and an immense challenge awaiting the hosts here tonight. On Tuesday, they headed side to Crystal Palace for the first leg and sustained an 86-66 defeat. The Royals utterly dominant, so a massive deficit to overturn. But on their own home court, in front of a very packed crowd here this evening, the Rocks determined to give it their very best shot. And their head coach, Darryl Wood, telling me before this game, he believes his side really needs a very strong first half to stand any chance. That primarily because of the depth that the Royals possess. But a big blow for Glasgow Rocks here. Gareth Murray, the Great Britain forward, will sit out this game. That broken nose he suffered in the first leg, enough to keep him back on the bench this evening. Of course, London Lions awaiting the winners in the final, which is back here in Glasgow on the 10th of March. That's after they secured their spot against Manchester Giants on Thursday. So the real prospect of an all-London finale in the trophy, and what a boost that would be for the London City Royals, a derby for a trophy in their very first season in existence. As you'd expect, of course, for a brand new club, been up and down at times, but their head coach, Jay Williams, acknowledging that this is such a terrific opportunity against one of his former teams. The game plan for him, the same as it was 5 days ago. And you have to think, if London City Royals play as they did back on their home floor, you'll feel pretty confident that that 20-point cushion from the first leg will be enough to get them through here this evening. Jonathan McLeod's alongside me. That first leg, the Royals came out early, hit the Rocks hard. What does Glasgow need to do differently here this evening?
Yeah, well, you know, I spoke to Gareth Murray before the game. He said that the tempo is set in the first 3 minutes there. So I think they've got to get off to a good start, and that keeps the game kind of equal. They've also got to limit, you know, London's offense in transition. They've got NBA, he's averaging around 18 points a game. They've also got Will Neighbour, he's a big guy, but he's also shooting 52% from three. That's someone you've got to look as an inside-outside threat. So defense has got to be on point tonight, as well as a good fluid offense. With Gareth out as well, it's a big loss. You know, it's time for everyone else to step up. The packed house here for obviously a special night for General Manager Dan. Things will be, I think, you know, it's possible.
You mentioned NBA, Matthew Bryan and Manning, of course, have been one of the highest scorers in the league all season. And I guess it exemplifies the athleticism that the Royals possess. And I guess for the Rocks, one of the key things for them is not to put the ball, or not feel they have to speed the ball up so much in that first quarter, because that would play into London City's hands.
No, exactly, you're right there. I think they need to play at their tempo, you know. There has to be less isolation basketball, more team basketball. That's what they're good at. You know, I've watched them in training. When they move the ball, they're a really, really good offensive team. If they play at their tempo, keep control of the game, anything's possible, you know. If you give the game to London early on, they're not going to give it back.
One of the things that Darryl Wood's saying before this game is that he feels this has to be a game of gains. Probably by 8 points, need to eat into that 20-point deficit by the end of the first, by 12, 15 by the half-time. And also he feels it really needs to be level by the end of the third if the Rocks do have any chance tonight, just given the strength and depth that this first-year Royals franchise has built off the court. A tough team with lots of great British talent that they've brought together for Crystal Palace in the first year of the London City Royals franchise. Let's have a look at the two starting lineups this evening, starting with Glasgow. Kenny Carpenter alongside Greg Pryor, who'll come in replace of Gareth Murray in that backcourt. Bune Njai, the Norwegian, out in the wing. Their Scottish Twin Towers in the middle, Kieran Achara and Ali Fraser. As for the visiting Royals, their backcourt of Wes Waspun and Ed Lucas, and that terrific all-British front line of Ashley Hamilton, Matthew Bryan Ammaning, and Will Neighbour. Your three officials here at the Emirates this evening: Chris Dodds, Josh Bowe and Matt Lloyd. The Royals winning both prior meetings between these two teams this season, of course in the trophy earlier this week and in the league back in December. An average of 17 points, their margin of victory. Can Glasgow turn it around tonight? A big ask. This is the 4th game in 8 days for the Rocks. An overtime loss down at Newcastle Eagles on Friday in the league. How will they respond, particularly without Gareth Murray? And you think here, Jonathan, at the very start here, Glasgow needing to almost put that deficit out of their mind and just go out and play their best game.
Yeah, I think they need to almost go over and forget, you know, Newcastle. They did a great job taking it to overtime. They've kind of just got to forget the negative attitude off the overtime loss, obviously. The 20-point game, the pressure is almost on London to maintain that they go through. You know, the expectations are there for London to go through, so I think that can play into Rock's hands. You know, they can say, well, we're down, but we're not out. We've still got a chance in this.
Yeah, and absolutely, we've seen bigger deficits in this eroded before, and so much at stake. The second prize of the season up for grabs here in just a few weeks' time. London Lions already in the BBL Trophy final. Will it be London City Royals or the Glasgow Rocks joining them? Glasgow in dark blue, the Royals in white. It will be Kieran Achara and Will Neighbour going up for the tip. It is the second leg of the BBL Trophy semi-final, and it is the Radisson Red Glasgow Rocks against the London City Royals. And what a terrific game with two very, very quality teams ready to face off against each other. The crowd here at the Emirates Arena, as always, noisy, loud and proud on their feet for this tip-off. Just wait for the final adjustments here as we get set to go. A place in the final at stake. And the first possession falls into the hands of the Royals. Ashley Hamilton feeds Matthew Brian Ammoning in the post. The kick out once again to Hamilton. Tries baseline, guarded by Ali Fraser, but sweeps past him. Hamilton, of course, only fit to play midway through the season, but what an addition he's been. Great Britain international, so much overseas experience. Pass intended for Kieran Achara, picked off. Washburn. Once again to Brian Ammoning, the post to feed off, and the slam down from Hamilton.
They are an athletic team, London, aren't they? A very athletic team.
Fraser in the post where he's so effective against the pushback. Ali Fraser gets the Rocks off the mark. Fraser really for much of this season has been unstoppable once he gets in that low post. Achara with forcing the turnover. Njai. Feed inside, Achara made the cut. The Rocks really feeling that they need to settle early on offensively, but also do a much better defensive job than they did against London on Tuesday. As Njai's baseline jumper runs out. Yeah, the ball movement from London that night, probably the best they've had all season. The Rocks unable to combat it for long spells, particularly in the first half. Neighbour off balance.
Yeah, as you said about the ball movement, sorry to interrupt there, as you said about the ball movement of London.
Carpenter's score waved off there for travelling. Sorry, carry on, John.
As you're saying about the ball movement, I think there's got to be positives taken on Glasgow side to accept the fact that that probably was the best basketball the Royals have played all season. So, you know, they're not going to play that style of basketball every night. They're going to play that high level. There's got to be positive taken from the fact that they may have an off night, and you know, there's those kind of levels of perfection are not always possible.
Well, Brian Ammoning there. Spin move to the glass. His 4th point already. Njai baseline. Floats it in. And I guess the positive you have to say for Glasgow is they played very well against Newcastle on Friday. Just a couple of late turnovers really cost them the game in regulation. Eagles held on. A long three from Ed Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I speak to a lot of the supporters, you know, after games and whenever there's losses, they always have negatives to say. But it was funny. That was the one loss of the season they've actually said, no, do you know what? We're actually okay with that. Everyone played really well. So I think that's a testament just how well they did play, and it was obviously even better from Eagles to hold on.
Washburn has room in the lane, stuffs it down. And with that lead extended to 7 points, Darryl Wood, the Glasgow Rocks head coach, wants a timeout. The Rocks, with the deficit growing even more from that first leg. Of course, games going on elsewhere today and elsewhere this weekend in the BBL Championship. And it has been a very good weekend for the league's bottom team, Worcester, beating Surrey by 5 on Friday night. They've beaten Plymouth in Plymouth, 91-74 this afternoon. Surrey Scorchers, of course, bouncing back to beat Sheffield Sharks 90-69. Last night, the champions Leicester Riders with a 90-83 win at Bristol Flyers. And 2 other league games going on this afternoon in Manchester. The Giants have just tipped off against the Eagles, and shortly Cheshire Phoenix will host the BBL Trophy finalists, the London Lions. Will keep you up to date with those games as we go along here on BBC Sport this afternoon. Thanks for joining us here for this trophy semi-final second leg, in which the London City Royals now an aggregate lead by 27. So the Rocks needing urgent remedial work to keep their hopes alive, rebounding in this contest. Buna Njai will get us back underway, gives the ball inbound to Greg Pryor. Despite that poor start, the Rocks sticking with the same lineup. Kieran Achara, the former Great Britain Patton in the post. And out to Kenny Carpenter. Fraser with the jumper, nails it down. Fraser with 4 points, 2 rebounds so far. Hamilton, kick out to the corner. Neighbour from downtown does it. Hamilton gets the rebound. Patience showing from Ashley Hamilton. His 6th point of the game. Rocks respond. Lucas drove inside, lost it. Brian Ammoning gathers, kicks it out to Hamilton. Also loses it. Swat comes out to Washburn. Lucas open for the jumper. Makes the 3. Second 3-pointer so far for Ed Lucas. Foul there as Njai drove into the lane.
You can see the Royals are reacting now to Njai being on the ball. He is a threat, driving to the basket all the time. Something they're going to have to adapt to.
First foul on Ashley Hamilton. Carpenter hands out to Njai. Pulls the trigger. Won't fall into the hands of Washburn. Floater in the lane. There's Washburn with 4 points. And this tie, this game, very much going as the London City Royals would like it. Still plenty of time though. Fraser fouled as he ran into the double team. Foul will go. First foul against Will Neighbour. Fraser to the foul line, where he shoots just under 80% on the season. Makes the first. Every point vital. Everyone counts. Makes 2 of 2. Andy Fraser with 6. Rocks in the double figures halfway through this first period. Floating pass inside. Neighbour had himself open. Rocks quick to react. Off balance step out. Will Neighbour. gets his first score. He's so versatile, Will Neighbour.
He's a fantastic shooter. He is. He's he's shooting over 50% from three. He's shooting over 50% from 2-point field goal as well. He's a great shooter. It's a great offensive threat for someone to have.
6 on the shot clock. NJ alert to it. Makes the long jumper. Long 2. Washburn pushing the pace. Neighbour. Foul. Kieran Achara just after he looked to shoot. End line ball.
Foul goes against the Rocks. Sideline ball for the Royals. 4 minutes 14 on the clock still. 8-point game. Rocks on defense.
Brian Ameling wasn't quite ready for that pass. Enjoy. Shot change there by Will Neighbour. Just enough. Stuff once more from Ashley Hamilton. And to be honest, having established this kind of lead, I was able to go tit for tat. And still feel very comfortable. Fraser hot hand early on, makes it. Game high 8 points for Ali Fraser.
This might be a bold statement to make, but I honestly do feel that Alistair Fraser might be one of the most underrated shooters in the league. I've seen Fraser hit a lot of threes. He doesn't take in a game right enough, but
Long shot from Brian Ameling doesn't go. Ali Fraser having just a great season.
absolutely,
Really
yeah.
has become the Rocks' go-to guy in that front court. NJ buries the 3. Rocks within 5. Psychologically, they needed that one. Volume just increased a little. Washburn cut inside from Lucas, wide open. Great vision from Wes Washburn. Started the season in the Mexican League, spent part of last season in the NBA's Development League, the G League. Certainly since he came in, was a find more consistency. Just having 3 point guards allows them to do so many different things. Washburn a great defender, but as we saw there, a great offensive presence. Here he is on the ball once more. 2.5 minutes to play in the first. Hamilton. Short there. Carpenter. Messy kick out to Fraser, who lost it. This will be too easy. What's Matthew Brian Ameling going to do? Throws it down, a bit unspectacular. I thought maybe more for that. Saw last night the All-Star in the NBA, their dunk contests. I don't think that would have got many points. He's better than that. Anyway.
I think there's a 4 across the board for that one. A nice wee soft layup.
I think you're being generous there. Anyway, 9-point lead for Royals. Cut by Kenny Carpenter.
He cares about the baskets. He doesn't want to damage them. That's what it is. He doesn't want to damage them when they might make the final.
Neighbour from range. Won't fall. Achara for 3. Short. Washburn. Hand off to Lucas. Hamilton almost dared Fraser. Washburn for 3 from way out. NJ scooping the board. 1 minute left in the first. Fraser makes it. First player into double figures today with 10.
Fraser's a great inside threat, but that cut coming from the 3 across the free throw line, that has been his bread and butter, getting the pass from the wing.
Scoop shot from Lucas will go, and he'll go to the line for the bonus. Second foul goes against Kieran Achara. Will be immediately replaced by Bo Ziegler. And the Royals bring in Will O'Harabe as Will Neighbour will sit out this last chunk of the opening period. Lucas steadies himself. and makes the three-point play.
Here come the Rocks.
Tadas Rinkunas, the Lithuanian, has also checked in for Glasgow. Ziegler slashes into the middle, gets his own rebound. Shot clock not reset because it didn't touch, and he gets it in. Bo Ziegler, instant impact off the bench. Shot clock now off. 15 seconds to play. Lucas will be the setup guy. Miscommunications there. Shawnee Much also just on. Not able to gather. Enjoy. Turn up the speed here. Saying he stepped out of bounds. He was cutting inside, small but significant mistakes. 2.2 seconds remain on the game clock. Long range shot, surely, but short of the mark. And at the end of the first quarter, the game leaders in points, Ali Fraser and Ashley Hamilton, 10 points apiece as Glasgow Rocks trail London City Royals by 29 to 23. And Jonathan, really in that first quarter, the Rocks really playing into the hands of Royals' game plan. They tried to move, change the tempo. Royals able to push the ball very fast. They've extended their cushion 26 points up in aggregate. Now, I think with Glasgow, now, unfortunately, you have no real choice but to keep possessions going thick and fast and as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think now Glasgow's game plan kind of has to be, we need to put points on the board and we need to put them on as quickly as possible, which up in the tempo can play into London's hands as well. That's something that obviously Rock's going to have to keep an eye on. Transition defense is going to have to pick up. It's going to have to be better than it has been in the first quarter. You know, but they need to keep going to the inside. The inside's been a real, you know, it's been there for them. Maybe exploit the perimeter. You know, Ali Fraser's been open on the three-point line a few times. You had Tadas in the game there. He's a great three-point shooter. The offense can really open up, but you got to keep doing the things that they're doing well, and obviously improve the things they're not doing so well. But the defense has to pick up. There's too many times that London have attacked the basket, and the help side defense hasn't managed to get across quick enough.
The amazing thing in that first quarter, London City Royals 9 of 10 from two-point range, and if you look at the shot chart, every single one of those bar one right under the basket, just a cluster of dots inside where the Royals' athleticism really paying dividends. The Rocks as well, getting plenty of change inside, particularly in the paint through Ali Fraser, but again, this athletic, quick, talented London City Royals team making the most of what nature gave them. Second quarter here at the Emirates Arena, about to get underway. One league game going on just now. Manchester Giants leading Newcastle Eagles 31-26 early in the second. First possession of this second quarter to Glasgow in blue. Rinkunas off a curl. Comes to Njai. Fraser in the post. Fascinating matchup there against Matthew Bryan-Ammoning. Ali Fraser game high 12 points. Rocks within 5.
Fraser really has hit a run of form recently that is just second to none.
Washburn. Floater inside on the charge. Harabay can't convert. Other end quickly, speedily from Glasgow. Fraser. Foul will go against Matthew Bryan-Ammoning. Substitution for Glasgow on the aforesaid. Bryan-Ammoning will go to the bench, replaced by Ashley Hamilton. And Ed Lucas sitting down with Al Roberts checking in for the Royals. Quick fire, quick move, quick score. Kenny Carpenter alert. Rocks within 2. 6-0 run other side of the break for Glasgow. Hope not lost. Washburn Guarded by Rinkunas. Long floater. Seems to show any much won't go. Rocks with a chance to level, maybe to go ahead. To go ahead's the option. Njai with the 3. And that really, their defense turned into offense in so many of the occasions on that run.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw it in the first quarter as well. What a good offensive play plus a good defensive play, and then backed up by a good trip down the floor can really change the game. You see it there, good in the lead.
Rocks on the break. Carpenter from downtown. He's really struggled with his shooting. That's Kenny Carpenter. Basket will not count. Will be an end-line ball, I think, for the Royals. Tadas Rinkunas picks up his first foul. Sideline ball. Al Roberts, the inbounder. Hamilton can't convert. Rinkunas opts for the 3. Nails it.
Is the momentum shifting? I think it could be.
12 unanswered points for Glasgow. Suddenly the crowd alive to the possibilities. Much from the elbow. Won't fall. They shot so well in that first period. Pressure. That's knocked London City Royals out of their rhythm here in the second. Ziegler will make the basket and get the chance for the 3-point play. Just that energy Glasgow bringing as Jay Williams prepares to take a timeout, which he does now. 14 unanswered points for the Glasgow Rocks. And a big game, it must be said, not just for the Royals, but also for Jay Williams. Of course, he spent a season here with the Rocks back in 2003 and 2004, but there was, I think, the organisation they've built off the court, built at Crystal, their operations around at Crystal Palace. And speaking to their director of operations before the game, Namu Shire, saying that this has been a really positive first season for them. You're coming in blind, you're building a new franchise, new team, new fan base down in South London, and some mistakes inevitably made, but say a lot of it has been about learning and building a first year and the foundations for what they might hope to achieve in the future. And of course, Shire, the man behind Midnight Madness, such a big indoor event, lots of learning curves. But you have to say they've certainly, with bringing in all this British talent, Jonathan, they've really added something to this league.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was quite worried when I thought it was going to be a new team. I thought, oh, it's going to be a whole load of imports, but it's been great to see such a collective of British talent come together and do so well. I mean, I follow them on social media and they all just look like they're having fun. That's the main thing. It looks like it's a fun organisation to be a part of. It's exciting as well. The history behind London basketball obviously is there. Playing at Crystal Palace, obviously,
Iconic venue.
It's such an iconic venue. It really is. It really is. The old days of the BBL. You hear about Crystal Palace, you hear about the team called Crystal Palace, and the history of British teams doing so well. And it's great to see British basketball in one team with such a high level of play.
O'Hara Bay travelled as he backed into the key there. And another fine defensive stand for the Rocks. Longlaber returns. O'Hara Bay sits. Yeah, you remember when you think of Crystal Palace, you think of names like Alton Bird, really iconic figures back in the 80s and 90s. Well, Njai went for the spectacular, didn't come off, but we'll get the foul. And of course, London Towers playing at Crystal Palace, and they were in the EuroLeague. So a lot of history there, even for a new team. Matt Brown-Ammaning returns.
Well, there is talk of EuroLeague maybe returning.
Yeah, an interesting idea that's been floated out there is maybe a standalone London franchise in the EuroLeague. EuroLeague always been very keen to have a team in Europe's largest city, but it doesn't come cheap. Those budgets for the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona massively dwarfing the budgets in the BBL. Enjoy. Standing tall there, 2 of 2 from the line. Now has 14 points, leads all scores. Rocks up 9. Critically, now only trail 11 in aggregate in this trophy semi-final. Pressure now shifting subtly onto the visitors. Nowhere to go inside there. Rocks interior defense doing its job. Rinkunas open. Short there. Fraser gives it out to Enjai. Another 3-pointer. Fraser once again, another offensive board. Hustle. Much appreciated by his coach Darrell Wood there on the sideline. 4 in the shot clock.
Oh, it's twice. Ever so slightly out of bounds.
Stepped out there.
It's the little mistakes that are going to cost us, you know. It's only a 21-point lead that we need, or 20 to take it to overtime, of course, but if you want to win it in 4 quarters, it's 21, so you've got 2 and a bit left. You break that down to 3 quarters, it's 7 a quarter. As you know, things are on track. As I said before the game, you know, the pressure is on London to stay the course off their big lead.
Played much better in the first quarter when Neighbour was on the floor. He's back now. The fade away won't fall. Draws the foul. Will go against Kunis. Foul against Ziegler. Pardon me. Picks up his first, and Neighbour will go to the line. Shoots 74% on the season. Much travelled. Great Britain international. Played in Sweden, played in Spain, New Zealand, Hungary. This is 3rd BBL team. 2 for 2 from the line. Breaks a 17-0 run for Glasgow that began late in the first quarter. Fraser from the baseline. Just too long, Neighbour. 4th rebound. Washburn, wow, athleticism there, skipped inside. Momentum shifted once more. Cross-court pass, picked off by Roberts. With a follow-up, didn't fall. Fraser harangued by 2 Royals players. 2nd foul against Brian Ammoning. For the Rocks, Greg Pryor, Kieran Achara, placing Kenny Carpenter and Ali Fraser. 5 minutes remain in the second quarter. Full court pressure comes from Roberts. Enjoy. Well, he's kind of running into nowhere there. Pass going to no one. And the Royals recover. Pryor applying the pressure on Washburn. Neighbour. Hand off to Washburn. Has the speed, the left-hand floater won't go. Rocks recover. Pryor.
Rebounding really could be the difference.
Rinkunas from way out, way off though on that occasion. Drive inside, Enjai forced to take the foul. As Roberts flew athletically into the lane. First foul against Enjai. Roberts came up from the second tier, played last season with Hemel Storm. Born in the town of Niagara Falls, the New York side of the border rather than the Canadian side. the double and gets it. Gap, which stood at 9, now back to 3.
You see when the pace picks up ever so slightly, the tempo goes a wee bit faster and London can really capitalise on that.
Another turnover for Glasgow. Washburn from distance makes the 3. Where's Washburn now with 9 points, Darrellwood, as the game is tied. Call the timeout. And this is a big week for British basketball, not just here this afternoon. Thursday night, Great Britain hosting Cyprus at the Bellevue National Performance Centre in Manchester. A Eurobasket pre-following qualifying game that they must win to keep their hopes of automatic qualification alive for the main Eurobasket qualifying round. And the news we can confirm is Gareth Murray will miss that game. A big blow for GB. They did beat Cyprus 75-61 back in early December, and if they win on Thursday night, then the group comes down to mathematics. They head to Vienna to meet Austria next Sunday, and they'll need to beat the Austrians by 15 points or more if they want to top the group. If not, GB dropping into a kind of last chance qualifying round this summer against some of Europe's minnows. And of course, with the prospect raised this week by UK Sport that there will be a change of focus, basketball potentially could get long-term funding to build towards the Paris 2024 Olympics, perhaps the LA Olympics in 2028. So important that the men's team start making the same kind of progress that their female counterparts have managed over the last few years. And of course, very important on Thursday, the GB get a big supportive crowd in Manchester for a vital game. Trophy action. Here our primary concern this evening in Glasgow. Kunis slashes inside off the glass. Will it go? No, it won't. Under the basket. Chara looked for the second chance opportunity. Didn't get it. Washburn very spectacularly rolling through the side of the court. Seems okay. Rocks ball on the sideline. Ed Lucas returning for London City Royals. Al Roberts, who's had a very good spell on the court, takes a break. 11 on the shot clock. Carpenter guarded by Much. 2 in the shot clock. He'll need to take it quick. Well, just got it off in time. No go though. Much finds room inside of Chara with a block. Another turnover forced. Brian Amling, anything better this time? Yes, a one-handed slam down. 6 points for Brian Amling. And London on the night, up by 2 now. And this tie up by 22 in aggregate. 3 to play in the second quarter. Lucas from long range makes it. Ed Lucas, 12 points. And he has been on fire from 3-point range thus far.
It's amazing how quickly things can change. A few turnovers here or there, you know, they all add up. So it's going to be the little things, the little mistakes that will cost. Sloppy passes. They've been let off a few times with their bad passes.
14 unanswered points for London City Royals. And once again, the Rocks forced to shoot late in the shot clock. And forced into a bad shot. And London with a chance to extend their lead once more. Substitutions for the Royals. Jules Dangakoto getting his first minutes in that Royals backcourt, as is Elvishi Dusha. And a backcourt change for Glasgow, Johnny Bunyan replacing Tadas Rinkunas. And this where the depth of the Royals comes into its own. Dangakoto, who started the year playing over in Germany, back in London. Already capped by GB. A great raw talent. Great power from deep. doesn't fall. Dusha, fresh rebound. Fresh turnover. Pass picked off by Kenny Carpenter. Steps back for the three. Scramble underneath. Foul. Lucas immediately confessing his guilt.
Yeah, you mentioned just a couple of seconds ago there the depth of the Royals. It's really something that that they have over quite a few teams. They have, I think you can see about 15 players on the bench there. Obviously only the 12 suited up, of course, but the depth that they have is something that really does impress. And 1 through 12, they're all high caliber players. Something they're really fortunate to have.
Ali Fraser has returned to the court. Kieran Chara at the line, makes the first. Yeah, we should say Olin Jackman sitting out for the Royals this afternoon. Told me before the game he was ready to go, has a bit of a knee injury in his left knee, but I think they felt with the lead being what it was going into this game, no need to risk him. Chara breaks the Royals' run at 14. 3 points the gap here this evening. Sam Tulawazi also getting his first minutes off the bench for the Royals. Dusha, second rebound already. Neighbour from the corner. Chara with the board. 4 points, 4 rebounds for Kieran Chara. Chara like a train through the middle.
It's all about the fundamentals. Fundamental passes will get you good scores, and good screens will get you good scores. Got to focus on the basics.
Kodo hands off up high to Will Neighbour. Bullet pass inside. Dusha. Nice patience, couldn't score. Bunyan just enough to pester him into a miss. And a sportsmanlike foul has been called. Warning there. Goes against Dusha. Tried to stop the breakaway. Carpenter to the line. I'll tell you at half-time in the BBL Championship, Manchester Giants with a 47-46 lead over Newcastle Eagles. As Carpenter converts the first, and the Rocks are level. And now ahead.
Just had a wee peep at the stats there from that Giants-Eagles game, and Willie Clayton's having a bit of a showing, isn't he?
13 points and 10 rebounds. He's a double-double machine. Prior to Chara. 2 in the shot clock. And once again, the Royals doing a great job of forcing the Rocks into almost a shot clock violation. Just that size and length that their backcourt has, able to put so much pressure on. Neighbour on the wing. Seconds remain. Rocks need a quick move. Carpenter loses it. Chara gathers. Have to take it quick from 3-point range. And it is off. And at the half here in Glasgow, the Rocks 1 on the night. It's still down 19 on aggregate. And considering their target was to be, I guess, 6 behind in aggregate, really below par in that first half, Jonathan.
Yeah, it was a great start to the second quarter there when Rocks played at their tempo. But they tried to speed things up a bit too much, which obviously played into the Royals' hands. Rebounding really is going to be the issue for the night. You know, they've got NBA, they've got Willie Neighbour, Ed Looks as well coming from the backcourt. He's got an amazing vertical, he can go grab rebounds. It's something that they need to focus on because it's second chance opportunities that are going to cost them. It's the sloppy turnovers as well. You know, it's basic fundamental basketball. It's things that coaches are coaching from a young age. It's things that these guys need to be doing well. But no, Rocks need to play their style of basketball, their brand of basketball. That's what had them up by so much. You know, positives to take from that half, absolutely, but there's definitely things to work on.
Well, the game high score at the half here, Buna Njai for Glasgow with 14 points. Ed Lucas leading the London City Royals with 12. At the half, it's 44 to Glasgow, 43 to London City Royals. If you want to know what that is in aggregate, the Royals up 129 to 110. Rocks with it all to do in the second half. We'll be back in about 10 minutes here in the BBL Trophy semi-final second leg at the Emirates Arena.
Glasgow final. Let's go up to both teams.
Welcome back to the Emirates Arena here on this Sunday evening. It's the second leg of the BBL Trophy semi-final. At the half here, it's Glasgow Rocks leading London City Royals 44 to 43. That, however, translates into a 19-point lead for the Royals as they bid to meet London Lions in the final. Back here at the Emirates Arena in just a few weeks' time. And speaking to the two coaches just before they came back on the court, the Rocks coach, Darryl Wood, said, of course, we know we're in a deep hole just now. They've only got 20 minutes potentially to erase that 19-point deficit. Said his team needs to do a better job of picking their spots, and inevitably now they're going to have to push the pace, which is tough because London are a team that love it when teams push the pace on them. And Jay Williams, the London City Royals coach, says the one thing they've got to do better is rebounds. The Rocks winning that battle 26 to 17. But I guess you must be feeling relaxed now with such a big lead with so little time to play. So absolutely not yet. Also to play for. Jonathan McLeod's alongside me here. I mean, the Rocks really have to go for broke, don't they, at this point in time with the final place on the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the saying is championship or bust. I think for this half, they really do need to limit their turnovers. They've got 11 in the first half as opposed to London's 5. That, of course, is translated into 11 points for London. So things have got to change, you know. Things really need to change. It has to be fundamental passes.
Effectively, the score 129 to 110 in favour of the Royals as we begin this third quarter. Royals in white, Glasgow in blue. Will Neighbour with a terrific first half, influential for London City Royals. And Ali Fraser will commit the foul as Matthew Bryan Ammoning drove inside. Buna Njai, the number 8 for Glasgow in the middle of your picture there. Game high 14 points in this contest so far. Ashley Hamilton, bullet pass inside, finished off, sweet move. Bryan Ammoning gets us off the mark in this second half. It really was a game of runs in the first 17 straight points for Glasgow. 14 straight in response for the Royals as Ali Fraser has now 14 points.
That drive across the lane with a scoop shot is something he's been doing for the past few games. It's been really effective.
And Kunis will get the start in this second half. Hamilton came across. The interceptor. Pryor gets it to Kunis. Whoa, what an astute bounce pass there into Bo Ziegler from Ali Fraser. Neighbour in the post against the muscular defense of Ziegler. Advantage Ziegler that time. Kunis from the corner. Won't go. Raj Washburn, the Royals point guard, able to slow the tempo. Feed to Neighbour. Almost stripped away, regathers, 8 in the shot clock. Hamilton, 2 in the shot clock, will have to take this. The Rocks did a very good job there, putting pressure onto the ball. And a possession.
I think that that possession shows you how you've got to defend Will Neighbour. You've got to keep him his back to the basket. Let him face up, and he's a threat.
Neighbour really one of the best post players in this league. And there's another one. Fraser with a hook shot inside, game high 16 points. 12-2 run for Glasgow either side of the half-time break. Did lead by 9 in that second period before the Royals came back. Washburn holds possession, 5 ticks on the clock. Washburn steps up, 3-point shot off the mark. Fraser spins into the paint, has room, and gets the fall. Not one of Darryl Wood's other keys at halftime was getting the ball inside to Fraser much more, particularly in that matchup with Matthew Bryan Ammoning. Rocks up by 7 on the evening, down by 13 in aggregate. Another chance here for Glasgow. Fraser, so reliable this year, and Jay Williams, the Royals coach, has seen enough. 8-0 run. London City Royals take a timeout in Glasgow there, actually able to push the pace and making some gains.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to be said for pushing the pace, but it's all about being in control when you're pushing the pace as well. They've also not had those risky passes that they had to end the second quarter. They've stayed in control of what they want to do. They've not let London control them, which is something really positive to see. Fraser as well, leading the line, is when Rocks are at their best. It takes the pressure away from the perimeter. That allows for Njai and Carpenter to attack the basket, as well as Taris and Kunis to get open. It really does open up their offense.
Yeah, we did say a trophy final place at stake back here in a couple of weeks' time. Of course, that will be a double-header contest as well. You'll be able to see on the BBC. It also includes the WBBL trophy. And their semi-finals also set this weekend. Leicester Riders will meet Seven Oaks. And Sheffield Hatters, who of course won the cup last month, will meet Durham Palatinatis for their last 4 set. The BBL about to fix their finalists. London Lions are ready in the final. Will it be an all-London final? Glasgow will not give up hope, ensuring there's no London duopoly.
Can you imagine the story if it was an all-London final? Oh, that'd be an intense game.
I think that's understating it. Matthew Bryan Ammoning drives inside. 10 points. Washburn with a strip, so quick, leads the lead and steals. And flying through there. Where's Washburn? 11 points now. Rocks suddenly on the back foot once more. Fraser. Feed intercepted by Neighbour. All too easy. Bryan Ammoning stuffs it in. 12 points he has now, and once again, one run answered by another. Bryan Ammoning, give us something cool here. There we go, up and at it. Bryan Ammoning drops it in, casual as you like. Rocks timeout. 5:30 to play. Their lead on the evening down to 1.
He just makes it look so easy, doesn't he? He's just so athletic. Getting up to the basket, he makes it look so easy.
Really good to have him back. And unfortunately, he was a guest on my podcast recently, and saying one of the attractions of the Royals was he being able to come back to this country and join old friends, players that he played with, in his childhood, players that he played with sometimes on GB, and it's great to see the league now that's able to attract players back into this country. Traditionally would have been overseas, and you look at someone like him, 10 different countries, has played in some very big stages, leagues which I guess are regarded as higher than the BBL, but now an organisation like the Royals, with the backing that they've got, able to get guys like him back, and it makes the league more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw the first step of that happening when Justin Robinson signed for London. He was really wanting to come back and play in the UK, and that was a big step. And now that the Royals, the other side of London, can do the similar thing with so many players, it's a huge step for the league to take. It's a huge, huge step for British basketball to take, to get all these talented guys back that we've developed that have gone on to play in other countries. It's fantastic to see.
That talent coming together. The Royals sitting in 4th place in the league at the moment. London Lions very much out on front. pressure coming from London. I guess looking for that killer run now. Njai. Box into the corner. Spot it there, will regather 2 in the shot clock. Have to take it. Once again. Ball's paying off. Ash Hamilton on the drive was fouled. Njai forced to get back quickly.
Too many times this season as well, but this game in particular, that the offense is grinded down to a halt. There's no movement, and they've been forced into, you know, a last-ditch attempt with hardly anything on the shot clock. The ball movement's got to stay there. The cuts have got to stay there.
NBA with a lesson off the glass. 16 points he leads the London City Royals. Now lead on the night. And there he is again, Brian Ammoning. A one-man wrecking ball. 10-0 run for the visitors. Their aggregate lead now up to 23. Washburn, like lightning, hand off to Lucas. Lucas in the corner, rims out, scramble underneath, and falls into the hands of Bo Ziegler. Fraser, the hook shot, this time doesn't go. Put back, perhaps again, no. Neighbour able to regather for Royals. Offensive foul is called there as Washburn charge, slightly out of control, going up court.
Yeah,
Rocks Achara returns, as does Ziegler. Greg Pryor on the ball once more for Glasgow. I think Kunis was open, took it quite understandable, doesn't convert. Fraser inside. Not dropping for Glasgow just now when they need it. Washburn from deep. Pryor with the board. Oh, Fraser should have made it. Well, no, he should have made it. I think Brian Ammoning up against Achara. Post will go back out to Rinkunis. To Achara once more, has room, steps back for the 3. Rinkunis opts for the trigger, pulls it. And it will be a Royals ball. Miller Harraby and AJ Roberts. Check back in for the Royals. And I guess a lot of people with the news that Gareth Murray's out of the GB squad this week will be going, well, is it time for Matthew Brian Ammoning to return from exile? It's been quite puzzling why he's not had another chance for GB, playing so well. Maybe even Ashley Hamilton. Now he's fit again. An opportunity to fill that void, that big void that Gareth Murray will leave.
Yeah, of course he is. He is a big player for club and for country.
Carpenter, way off. Washburn, electrifying at speed, drives inside. Achara didn't quite get his feet set in time to take the charge. It will be a shooting foul. It will be Washburn heading to the foul line. First trip today. 75% shooter on the season. added quite a lot to the Royals since he arrived.
Ball back with the Rocks. Let's go Rocks.
This is his 6th appearance. Straight points for London now. Johnny Bunyan. Guarded by Roberts, gives it to Fraser.
Foul goal. It goes against the Royals. And that goes for the Rocks.
Second foul goes against Ed Lucas. Corralled in the corner, manages to get it to Achara. Won't fall. Looks at the minute. 3 of 20 from 3-point range. The Royals not much better, it must be said. 4 of 18. You're having to try and claw back a large first leg deficit. You need those big points, extra points, points anywhere they come from. Falls very neatly.
Yeah, I think the Rocks have been quite unfortunate this afternoon that, you know, they've not got the same production out of Greg Pryor that they're used to. They've not got the same production out of Rankunis as they're used to. That's just...
Fraser will get it eventually. Now Fraser, 22 points, 10 of 17 shooting. Breaks London's run at 16 straight points, which have really probably pushed this game irrevocably away London City Royals. Just over a minute to play here in the third quarter. Hook shot from Harabay doesn't go. Pryor. Crossover. Robertson's way gets it inside to Achara. Tried to bulldoze his way through. Sam Tolowazi picking up his first foul. Achara for the third time today will line up at the foul line. What can you say about Kieran Achara? Of course, stepped down and retired from international duty after so many years as Great Britain's captain and I guess behind the scenes totem. It's always funny now when they name a Great Britain squad when he's not in it. Converts there, 2 of 2.
Yeah, you're right. You read the list of names when it was released, and the first thing you notice is it isn't all BBL clubs, and then you notice that Mr. Achara is not there.
Ball pressure coming. Fraser opts for long range and makes it alley. Fraser, first three-pointer of the day. Rocks within 2. 25 points for Fraser. Rocks with a little bit of a run here to end the third. A small differential between game clock and shot clock. Washpun, kick out to the corner. Tuluwazi. Wow, cool, wasn't it? Three-pointer there. Rocks will need a quick shot. Don't get it. And at the end of the third quarter.
Oh no, we have a shot clock malfunction.
I think it was quite fast. See what referee Chris Dodd says here, talking to Jay Williams, the London City Royals coach, on the sideline. Shot clock, game clock has been reset to 4 seconds. It did look when Carpenter came up court, he had a little bit more time, so it proved. Carpenter will inbound. Rocks do have shooters on the floor here. Bunyan, Fraser, Achara, Pryor and Carpenter himself, all capable of making threes. too slow there to get it off. But at the end of the third, that big run, 16 straight points for London City Royals, has put them well in control here. And what do they do here? If you're Glasgow in the fourth quarter, really absolutely nothing to lose, but every mountain decline.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, brave ones are going to say 25 points in one quarter. Doable? Potentially. Probably not. But I think you've also got to go for pride here and say that, you know, take another victory in your season. Might not be a win that gets you through to the final, of course, but it's a win in the season that you can bring us, can analyse all the things you did well into the next game.
I guess for Royals just now, there's that opportunity to use their depth, that opportunity to think ahead. And again, for a team which has come together, lots of experience, but still a new team, this kind of performance on the road with some pressure, with lots at stake, certainly boding well for them, if not possibly for the league title race, but certainly with the playoffs in mind as well, because not that long till we think about the end of season BBL playoff finals. Of course, this year back in London at the O2 Arena, Sunday the 19th of May. I guess the great irony will be if it's an all-London final in Glasgow and it's something completely different down in the east end of London. That's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Rocks just now are making a push for the playoffs. Things go well, they could snag a playoff berth. Of course, then things have to go really well. They'll be looking for Gareth Murray to come back as soon as possible to help with that.
Yeah, that's Gareth Murray at half-time. How long would you potentially out for? He said 3 weeks. Can't quite see him on that bench here, but two massive black eyes. His nose now reset. It's quite a blow, particularly as it was elbow of his own teammate, Bo Ziegler, did the damage. Fourth quarter underway. Pryor steps back, will not go. Another game in the BBL Championship today. Newcastle Eagles accelerating away in the third quarter. They now lead Manchester Giants 68-57. 8 minutes to play there. As a corner shot from AJ Roberts falls. Newcastle complete that win today. That would put them level on points with London Lions in second place. Of course, Leicester now up in front. But crucially, Leicester on 4 losses, London Lions in just 2.
It amazes me when Leicester Riders, of course, started so late in the season because they had their European Cup group stage games. Obviously, they didn't go as planned, but you know, I was always wondering how they're going to catch up with the rest of the league in terms of games played. But they've overtaken us all now. They've got 19. The next highest is what, 16, I think.
Yeah, it really is going to be a very competitive last third of the league season. And the Lions playing so well, but Leicester have that championship DNA from the last few years. Royals extend their lead once more to Shawnee Much. His first score of the game, started off 0 for 6, off the mark. 10 points. Now the Royals cushion on the evening. 2 shots to come. Kieran Achara so far today, 4 of 4 from the foul line. It was nice before the game today. Presentation to the Rocks departing general manager Daniel Badaluk, decade as GM of this club, moving on. Of course, such a significance at so many clubs. Officials and volunteers that make this tick over on a daily and weekly basis. Much Trying the screen. Chandler takes the board. 6th rebound of the game. Pryor gives it to Achara, the jumper short. Roberts with the board. Cut inside. Results in a foul. As Buna Enjai returns for Glasgow in place of Greg Pryor. Jules Dine placing Rush Washburn. 8 minutes to play. Roberts the inbounder. Pressure from Glasgow. Another foul. Second foul of the game going against Johnny Bunyan. Harabate under pressure from Fraser, gets it off. Roberts drives inside, stripped away. Rocks with a chance to break. Bunyan has some room, floats inside to Ali Fraser. Kick out, Enjai for 3, doesn't go. Much opts for the 3. Fraser with another rebound.
It really is quite a different looking jump shot Mr. Much has.
Ugly, I think, is the word you're looking for. Wasn't that occasion. Some pressure on it, must be said. Achara, 5 in the shot clock. Cut from Carpenter. Floater is made. Kenny Carpenter, 8 points in this game. The deficit for Glasgow. No incentive for London City Royals to do anything other than bide their time here on each possession. Jules Dine short there. Carpenter accelerates. Bunyan likes the corner shot, takes the 3, makes it. Johnny Bunyan, his first score. Rocks within 3 on the night. Tatawazi from deep. Oh, Fraser just 2 boards short of a double-double. Bunyan nearly got a second 3. Fraser looks for the cut. Maybe a bit ambitious for a man of Johnny Bunyan's height. Substitutions aplenty. For the Royals, Josh Rogers getting his first minutes of the evening for the Royals. Ash Hamilton has returned, as is Elvishi Dusha. 6 minutes to play. Hamilton. Dusha, 10 on the shot clock. Comes all the way through. Wow, instant impact for Josh Rogers. 3 in the corner. Really has been the Rocks' problem today. Every time they've got a score, made some impact. London City Royals have come right back at them. Backcourt violation is committed. I guess the casualness there. You know that Victory is all but sealed.
Well, yeah, looking ahead to the final for London, it's going to be a
Swat came across, but adjudged a goaltend against Bo Ziegler, hands on hips. A little bit of a grin there. I think he knew that. It's worth a try. Here was Jay Williams throwing in his bench squad. A chance for them to make an impression. Hamilton opted for long range. Doesn't go. Ziegler let it go out of bounds. Tonight, really, if you look at the Royals shooting 47% from the field, Rocks 39%. Small differences in accuracy, counting for a lot. Miscommunication there for Glasgow. Aaron Ammoning feed inside. Josh Rogers says thank you very much. 10-point cushion now for the Royals, 4 to play.
It's the turnovers as well that have cost Rocks, really. You know, there's such a big discrepancy.
Lee there. Cuts into the corner, yeah, turnover count. 18 for Glasgow, just 10 for the Royals. Officially 22 points scored off those turnovers for the visitors. Brian Amling showing off there. Shot didn't go. Out of bounds. And will be a Royals ball and another opportunity to pull away. Of course, the other news in the BBL this week, confirmation that there will be a 3rd edition of the All-Stars Championship. Of course, very innovative rules and very fast-paced basketball. Date for that, Sunday the 13th of October at the Copper Box in London. Surrey Scorchers defending the title, and hoping to defend the title. They won last year. London City Royals hoping for a first appearance. Will be getting a first appearance in a major final. And what a great boost that'll be for the whole organisation, for everything that they're trying to do on and off the court. Probably justification for the talent they've brought in, really come together under Jay Williams, standing on the sideline just out of shot at the minute. Should be very proud of what his team have accomplished. And he calls a timeout. And let's talk quickly about, I think we can talk about that as a final now. Lions won the cup already, of course beat Glasgow in that final last month. Facing Royals, it should be a really competitive kind of game because they're both such athletic teams. I mean, they did meet in the league once. Lions won 80-63, but certainly Royals a much better team than they were then, with Washburn coming in. And yeah, it should be, I guess, one of the most exciting, athletic, up and down kind of finals that we've seen in a while.
It could potentially be the advent for British basketball, I think. You know, that is going to be one of the games of the season. Yeah, you negate the score that was happening in the league fixture. London aren't the same team as they were back then. They've obviously got Washburn now. What a great addition he's been to the side. But that is going to be a game to watch. And British basketball is lucky to have it. Scottish basketball is lucky to have it in the Emirates Arena. Here in the Emirates Arena, that is going to be fantastic. I really do hope that you get some travelling fans from both sides coming up to spectate, because that is going to be a game to watch.
And of course that game will be in the big arena next door here, so tickets still available for that. Want to come along and see it. If you can't be there, of course, it will be live on the BBC Sport website and Red Button in just a few weeks' time. Matthew Bryan Ammoning off balance. Shot clock violation is called. Of course, with the international window coming up over the next 10 days. Royals' next game, not until March the 2nd when they host Plymouth Raiders in the league. The Rocks not scheduled to play again until Friday, March the 8th when they return to Newcastle, largely because the big arena next door hosting the European Athletics Championships, Indoor Athletics Championships at the start of next month. That another one you'll be able to watch right here on the BBC Sport website. The Rocks here hoping to finish with a flurry. Fraser can't convert, gets another opportunity, doesn't go. Ash Hamilton picks up another board, another possession.
I think that international window will do wonders for Rock's season. That could be the difference between them making it to the playoffs or not.
Certainly a chance for Gareth Murray to get a little bit healthier. As Josh Rogers draws a foul as he went up.
What you saw in the last big break they had when it was the All-Star weekend break, you know, that almost turned Rock's season around. You know, they made the big push on from there. They got a good run of form in the league. I think they're going to be hoping for the same thing to happen again.
Josh Rogers' first trip to the foul line this season, and it's a successful one. Johnny Bunyan picking up his third foul there. Makes it 2 of 2. 7 points, nice cameo off the bench. London keeping up the pressure. It's Ali Fraser. Shot is waved off, foul called. Will be a sideline ball. Rogers' first foul. Ball's not yet in the penalty. Gives it off to Carter. They go to Ziegler in the post. Foul committed by Dusha. Picks up his second. Well, still not in the penalty. Inbounder will be Kenny Carpenter. Have to go all the way out to Rinkunas. Bunyan from deep. On go. Hamilton wants to take the shot himself and makes it off the glass. 3-pointer for Ashley Hamilton. 13 points.
Do you think he called bank?
I think he should have done. I'd take that. Rinkunas for 3. Not his night. Rinkunas 2 of 8 from the field. Hawks have struggled to make the shots they needed. 4th foul against Bunyan. Less than a minute to play here.
Yeah, 2 of 8 from the field, one from 6 from 3. That's obviously not who he is as a player.
Probably get on their feet to show their appreciation to Glasgow. They did make the BBL Cup final last month. They will hope that maybe they make the BBL final at the end of the season. That they will not be making the BBL Trophy final in their home building on March the 10th. Kunis on that go inside. Matthew Bryan-Amling gathers it up. Bryan-Amling with a game, or with a team high 18 points for London City Royals. Ali Fraser with a game high 25 points for Glasgow Rocks. They'll have to take the shot here. Very small differential on the shot clock. But it will not matter. And it will be London City Royals against London Lions in the BBL Trophy on March the 10th. The Royals coming here to take an 83-71 win over Glasgow Rocks. Your thoughts on that, Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously the Royals kind of gave up towards the end there. Obviously still pushing on defense, but offensively weren't. They knew they had won, but that was it. You know, I think the final is going to be a great showing. Really exciting. I can't wait to watch it myself. But there, I think, you know, Rocks need to take a few positives from, you know, Johnny Bunyan got on the floors. I think they know themselves that Rinkunis didn't have a good game, but positives to come from Fraser, Ali Fraser, and Buna and Jai. So definitely some positives to take. They'll be looking for Gareth Murray to come back as soon as possible. The international window will do them wonders with giving him a chance to recover, so it doesn't impact their league too much. Playoffs, you know, obviously something to look forward to for the Rocks. It's something they're trying to reach. But no, London were dominant from the outset, and they're an exciting team. They're fun to watch. I think they all bring a swagger back to the league that I don't think it's been in the league for a wee while. So no, it's great. That was an absolutely fantastic game.
And what a final it promises to be. The Royals against London Lions, the battle of the capital. Our next game here in the BBC, Sunday, March the 4th at Crystal Palace, when the aforementioned London Lions host Manchester Giants in the British Basketball League. We'll hope to tune in then, but we've seen quite a Royal show here this evening. Me and Jonathan from Glasgow, it's goodbye.